Council and Department of Management. Institution's Innovation Council (IIC) was established on 21st November 2018 at JIMS Vasanthpur. Since inception of IICs by the Innovation Council (MIC), as per the norms and directives of Ministry of Education, then Ministry of Human Resource Development (MHRD), it is established to engage large number of faculty, students and staff in various innovation and entrepreneurship related activities such as hackathons, leadership talks, ideation, workshops, seminars in IPR, entrepreneurship and other competitive events to enhance the innovation and entrepreneurship ecosystem in the institute. It is a great pleasure to welcome a highly accomplished professional to our workshop today. We have with us Mr. Ashok Kumar Srivastava, the founder of Business Head of LifeWise Planning, whose remarkable career spans over 30 years of success in the business world. Mr. Srivastava, an MBA from the prestigious IIT Ghaziabad, has been a key figure in managing some of the most well-known brands in India, including Onida, Surya Roshni, Luxury, and the popular Pulse Candy. With extensive expertise establishing pan-India businesses, Mr. Srivastava has consistently excelled in building strong multi-channel distribution networks and establishing 3 A's for any brand: availability, affordability, and acceptability. His strategic leadership has driven impressive growth both in terms of top-line revenue and bottom-line profitability. In addition, he is recognized for developing robust management information systems (MIS) and for his commitment to organizing impactful training and development programs for teams. Mr. Srivastava's career is a testament to his unwavering dedication to delivering high value as a professional. We are truly honored to have him here today to share his wealth of knowledge and experience. Nandini Gupta to come here for felicitating our guest with a planter. Now I would like to call Mr. Ashok Srivastava sir to enlighten us on the topic Lean Startup and Minimum Viable Product Business.
This topic is Lean Startup and MVP. It's a very exciting topic which will enlighten you, and probably you just have to give me 60 minutes and you can then become an expert on Lean Startup and MVP, and you can also train others. In these 60 minutes, if you focus, you will be able to train others. I think they are not able to connect the so what I can do, if you can, I can mail it to you. Okay. So, basically last time what they connected. यहाँ से वो करना पड़ता है. What is your mail ID? Just note ID, where's the mail ID? Take a picture of this. Okay, so now I'm closing my laptop because I don't need it. Because I could have, given you presentation without the PPT, but it doesn't make that impact. And if you guys, give your list of all the attendance to me Ms. Divya, if you can provide me the list of all the participants, then Levi's Planet will be pleased to issue you a certificate for today's session. We have started this very recently. So all programs which we conduct, we issue certificates for your value addition.
I will share the attendance.
So you will get the certificates also. Every time when I make a lecture, I will give you a certificate. So you become expert on the topic. Not only you are aware about lean startup, but you will become an expert on lean startup. And tomorrow you can do your own lean startup. There is no need for looking for a job in a country like India, which is full of potential. Everywhere you go, people are making money. Only thing you should know
Hello
how
business.
Yeah, you got it. WhatsApp is also such a powerful tool.
It is a message also.
It's a blessing, at least.
Both ways.
Okay. So, okay, now let's start. So the lean startup in MVP, this was the topic given to me for today's presentation. And in order to understand lean startup, I have a simple line which says beauty lies in simplicity. Lean startup is nothing but is a very simple way of doing business. And if you, in India, people who have not gone through all this have already been doing this. All success stories, if you see in India or business houses, they started from very small. Only those businesses have excelled which started small. The dream was big, but they started small. They opened a small store, they opened a small, momos outlet. They started selling momos only, and then they became a retail chain. There are a lot of examples of that kind in India. At least wherever I have worked in my brands also, they started very small. So this was naturally known to Indians, but it's only the Americans who have brought it in a more refined manner, you can say. So it will not be very difficult, just go back. And lean startup is basically driving innovation through experimentation. This you will understand as I move forward. But beauty lies in simplicity. Why I said? Because excellence is always simple. It is never complicated. Only those ideas succeed which are easy to execute. You are only comfortable with Facebook, you are only comfortable with WhatsApp, you are only comfortable with YouTube because they are very easy to operate. There is no rocket science in that. So if you are going with any idea, ensure that idea has to be very simple and easy to comprehend. It should not be that you are not able to explain your product and it took almost 10 minutes to you to tell about your business. That business will not do well. Now, Eric Rice is a very famous guy who has actually brought this concept of lean startup. He believes that a startup success can be engineered by following the process, which means it can be learned, which means it can be taught. So the lean startup process can be learned by each one of us, and we can teach also to others, because if we can learn, we can also teach. So the whole concept is learning. As if you focus, you will understand what is lean startup concept. Move. Now, what is lean startup? So first you must understand what is a startup. Startup is very simple. A human intuition, a human institution created to introduce new product or service under conditions of extreme uncertainty. This is the definition given by Mr. Eric Rice, who has written the book, The Lean Startup. Lean startup methodology is an example of consumer dictating the type of products that they are offered by their respective markets, rather than those markets dictating what products will be offered to them. It shortens the product development cycle. So the whole difference between a normal traditional business and the lean startup method, you will get to understand very fast as I move forward. It's The lean startup is primarily focused on knowing what the customer wants. I may have made a very good product. Suppose you have made a very good product and you are really passionate about your product, and the product is developed and you got a lot of money also, you pumped in a lot of money, you launched, you had a great launch, but the customer never wanted that product. When you went to the market, you realized that the product failed. Not because the product was bad, but there was no need for that product. So your customer will decide your success. You will not decide your success. This whole concept is based on that. Move. Now, these are two key words you must understand. Who is an entrepreneur? We think that an entrepreneur, anybody can entrepreneur. No. Entrepreneur is everyone from young visionaries with limited backing to a seasoned visionaries with larger companies. Meaning to say that it is not necessary to have a lot of money to be an entrepreneur. You can be an entrepreneur, a guy working with a large corporate can be an entrepreneur, a student can be an entrepreneur. Most of the success stories from US, the students started that. So, whatever has come to your way in life, always putting your best in that. You see, you cannot control the events. If you have got your admission in gyms, you can't do anything. Now you have to study here. If you are studying here, you have to make the best out of it. Every day when you get up in the morning, you should make the best. How you do little things, you will do the big things. So if you get up in the morning, have good habits, get up early to bed and early to rise, make some healthy and wise. So if you have developed good habits, do every little things rightly, you will do big things also rightly. Now, product is anything that a customer experiences as a part of interaction with a company. Product is, like for example, I am also selling a service. LiveWise Planet is a consulting and a training company. So I have come here with a presentation which I have given to Ms. Divya Gupta. Now this presentation is $1 million presentation. If you understand this, it can transform your life. Now, introduction. I will make this whole process so easy to understand. See, the most startups fail. I would like to tell you that 90% startups fail. 90% startups fail. Only 10% startups succeed. And why they have been failing? Primarily, they were following the traditional way of startups, which I will explain you why they fail. Lean startup is about learning what your customer wants and learning it quickly. So the lean startup is actually, the whole premise is this, that you must know what your customer wants. Even in those that succeed, progress rarely follows a straight line. Even if your product is successful, it is not necessary that it will go straight like this. So the curve will not be straight line. It will be like this. Sometimes some people will come and buy, some people will reject it, some people will like it, and you will keep tweaking the products, and that's how the growth happens. So the lean startup is organized into 3 sections. The first is the vision. You must be very clear what you want to give to the consumer. And better is that your vision is aligned to the consumer demand. I may have a great vision, but if that is not needed, it may become a useless vision. So how to know that what people need? I have to experiment. I have to make a presentation here and see your response. How do you like this presentation? And if you like it, then I probably will encourage me to make more presentations. That's how the companies get built. So if you see the diagram, it says very clearly that the growth is something like this, and maybe at a point, finally you will take off. And the perception is this, that the product will go like this. It never happens like this. Most of the time it will happen like this. So if your product is failing, don't get disheartened. In fact, that's the best thing to happen. Unless you fail, you can't succeed. So people who are failing, don't get disheartened. Failure is the only thing which makes you successful. And the lucky ones fail, Because once you fail, you learn a lot. You learn more than a guy who is successful in his first shot. You might be envying people who are very successful in the first shot, but actually you are more successful if you have failed, because you have learned more, you have learned many things. Then there is a misconception about lean startup. Lean startup is cheap. People say lean startup is cheap because there is no investment, there is no infrastructure, there is no technology, there is no team, there is nothing. There is only one guy, maybe two guys trying to do something. No. The answer is no. Lean startup is not cheap. It is about being less wasteful and more valuable from customer point of view. How many of you are aware about a concept called minimalistic living? Minimalistic living. Are you aware about that?
Yes, sir.
Minimalistic living. It's a Japanese concept. And we say less is more. Anywhere you must have seen written less is more. Now, minimalistic concept does not mean that I become frugal, I become very economical. No. I have become relevant. I become things which are important to me. I have a clear vision for myself. I have a clear value system, probably important to each one of us. So anything which is for your health, you should have to be careful. Anything which is for your wealth, you need to be very careful. Anything which is for happiness, you have to be very careful. And beyond these three things, whatever clutter you have, just go do away with that. So that is what is lean startup is not a cheap concept. It is a concept which brings less wasteful and more valuable from customer point of view. Lean startup is only for technology and internet companies. No. The earlier perception was this, that the lean startup is only for technology companies or a software company, because probably Eric Rice is a software developer, so everybody thought that this is related to software. No, but it is equally as relevant to a guy selling momos, a guy having a restaurant, or a guy selling shoes. It is relevant to everyone. Lean startup uses data rather than having a vision. Now, here when I say vision, that does not mean that the lean startup doesn't have a vision. That vision is backed up by a validated data. So, as I told you in the beginning, I might be having a great idea, business idea, or I may be having a great vision, but if you guys are not interested, then that vision is meaningless. Like for example, today I have come with this presentation of lean startup. If none of you are keen on this, it is irrelevant. I should not waste my time. Neither yours. But I think it will work for you. Then these are the 5 principles of lean startup. First is entrepreneurs are everywhere. So, entrepreneurs are everywhere. That means they are in the garages, they are in the corporate houses, they are in the government offices, they are in this Jim's college, they are sitting in the classrooms. Many of you will become entrepreneurs, maybe, you never know. So entrepreneurs are everywhere. Then principle number 2 is entrepreneurship is management. What course you are studying in? BBA.
BBA.
All the students.
Huh.
Some of them BCA also.
2 or 3 are.
You are BCA, Bachelor of Computer Application, and Bachelor of Business Application. Both are equally interesting courses. So ultimately you guys have to build a career. Now a BCA can also become an entrepreneur, a BBA can also become an entrepreneur. And I can tell you, if you really want to fulfill your dreams, entrepreneurship is the only route, only way forward. And there is, take out from your mind that only rich people can do business. No way. Your idea has to be powerful, and there has to be need for that in the market. And if you go the right way, you will do it. So entrepreneurship is a management. When I say that if you start a small business also, you need to understand the concept of management. So your education will never go waste. I was sitting in ma'am's room and there was a poster where it says that education is the most powerful weapon which can help you change the world, by Nelson Mandela. So you already have the most powerful weapon, which is education. Money is created by education. Money is man-made. So then validated learning. Being a startup is all about validated learning. When I will come to MVP, you will understand what is validated learning. I will make a product, I will go to the market may not like it, I will come back, I will redo it, I will again go to the market and again redo it. That's how the business will get built up in being started. So that is why I am not reacting on the basis of my assumptions. I will react on the basis of the feedback which I am getting from you guys. I will also send a questionnaire of today's session on Google questionnaire, will come to you all. You can give your feedback. Because that will encourage us to move forward in life. Then comes the innovation economy. Now, if you are doing something, you need to measure also. Unless you measure anything, you cannot improve it. Why the tests or exams are taken in the colleges? The whole year they educate you, then they take a test. Then you have to clear that test. Why? Not because you need to score certain marks. Because you need to know that you have learned, and whatever you have learned, you are able to reproduce it. Unless you are in a position to reproduce what you have learned, it is meaningless. Because this education will take you everywhere in life. And I again tell you that the most beautiful thing God has given you is your mind. Take care of your mind. And God has been very, very magnanimous in distributing this mind to everyone. So make use of this mind. Another thing, God has given you the power of choice. You have to choose your life. Then comes build, measure, learn. This is the concept on which lean startup works. First you build something, you go to the market, measure the success, come back with learning and improve it. That's all it is. Now this focus on this diagram, it will explain you the entire concept in one diagram. You have an idea. Idea comes to you in your mind, and every individual, you will be surprised that every individual on this planet in his lifetime gets on, I cannot tell you the number of ideas, and many of these ideas which come in your mind, they are all workable. They can generate money. And but we do away with those ideas, thinking that yeah, this is not my cup of tea, or I am not meant for this, I can't go through this, there are a lot of problems, this and that. So there are a lot of ideas come to you, but then you have been, your software has been designed in a way that you reject those ideas. And 3% people grab those ideas, and they rule the world, and we all work for them. So you get an idea, then what you do is you build a product. In a minimum possible time, you build a basic raw product. No need to invest a lot of time, effort and energy. You get an idea, build a raw product, go to the market and charge money for that. Let the customer pay for it. And then let him give you critical views also that I paid you money but this product is not working. These are the problems. Note them down and come back. Don't think that you have failed. Suppose you want to sell momos. I'm taking example of momos because these days kids are eating a lot of momos. So suppose you start a stall of momos and your momo doesn't like, the customer comes and he doesn't like, but he pays for your momos, 60 rupees you charge, and he eats, he says no, it is rubbish. Then you take the feedback, ma'am, what is the problem, or sir, what is the problem? He will tell you the salt is more, or this is less, or that is more. And then you again redo it, and the next day again somebody will come and eat. And finally when the customer starts appreciating, that's how you have built the lean startup. Come in, please. So you build an idea, build a product, and then go to the market and measure the success and create and with that data, you get validated learning. And then this loop keeps on moving, and you do keep correcting the situation and keep moving. The day your product clicks, you will get that curve which is going straight. Right? I hope everybody, I am making it clear. कोई दिक्कत तो नहीं है किसी को?
No sir.
और कोई बोर हो रहा हो तो बता देना, क्योंकि हम 60 मिनट्स में खत्म कर देंगे, मैंने पहले ही बोला. But you should not get bored. You should be excited that today you are being exposed to something which is world class. And why I have come here? I wanted to tell you this also. You must be thinking, if such a the guy with such a profile, why is he come to for a lecture? I do this because I enjoy interacting with kids. And this is how I want to give back. Whatever the God has given me in these 35 years, I want to give it back as much as possible. So I will take the list of all participants and try and give you some certification also. And then there will be a questionnaire also in Google where you will have to answer 5 questions, basics ones, to understand that whether you have understood or not. Then this is a little technical and not necessary to know much about it, but this is basically a process of being startup concept, where there are 5 C's of lean startups are essential principle for streamlining process and improving efficiency. The first one is clear out, configure, clean, check, conformity, custom and practice. Now clear out involves removing unnecessary items. What I told you, in companies also there are a lot of irrelevant things get accumulated over a period of time. So you have to eliminate those things. You have to go to the market with just basic product with a feature which you want the customer to try. Don't complicate things, make it simple. Then configure is about organizing. You have to organize the whole system properly in a systematic manner. There are tools to do that. Then check, clean and check focuses on maintaining cleanliness and inspecting regularly. Conformity ensures that standards are followed consistently. Custom and practice involves training and ingraining these practices into daily routines. By applying 5 C's of lean business can create more efficient work flows, reduce waste and enhance productivity. So you see, when I say entrepreneurship is management, this is all about that management. So you need to be very clear about 5 C's, ensure that your process is proper and there is no clutter in your organization, in your office, and that's it. Now these are some advantages of lean startup. Lean startup, what does? It eliminates uncertainties, risk of failure. How it does that? Because you have, with little investment, you got an idea, you created a small product. Not necessarily it's a full product. You just make a video of the product and launch it through a video. Let the people respond to it. If people like your video, you can go back and develop the product. Not necessarily you go with a physical product. Even that much investment is not required. You can, if you have an idea, put that idea on a web page and see the response. Idea is test it out. So you eliminate risk. Helps work smarter, not harder on idea. Now, that's what I was telling you, that you are very intelligent. A guy passes out from IIT and he creates a very lovely and high technology product and puts in a lot of money, effort, energy, created a large organization, recruits people because the dad has a lot of money. And then when he goes to the market rejects the product because there was no need for that product in the market. Many big automobiles have failed, many big products have failed because there was no need for that product in the market. So the quality, you will not decide the quality. The consumer will decide the quality. Because if he doesn't need that product, the quality is irrelevant. So helps work smarter. So lean startup trains you to be smarter by spending more time with your consumer than your product. First go to the consumer and understand what he wants. Identify a consumer's problem. Work out a solution, go to him with that solution. He likes it, okay. Doesn't like it, ask him what is the problem. Come back and... So failing will ultimately lead you to success. Don't get disheartened. Helps grow the business. Helps saves time, leads to quicker market fit. How it saves time is that I have created a concept. Instead of making a product, I just launch the concept through a web page or through a video. And in 24 hours, I get back the response. People like it, I am excited. People reject it, I have dropped it. Pick up another one. So very fast I can conclude that which idea will work, which idea will not work. And me will not decide, you will decide. If suppose I am creating a product for the people sitting in this room, then all of you have to be excited with that product. Unless you are, there is no need for me to create that product. So maybe I will be very thankful to you for rejecting my product because I would have invested a lot of money and effort on that product. Now I can simply drop it. So many times failing gives you the right direction. which success doesn't give. Success takes you carried on. You get carried on with success. But failure teaches you the right directions. Help to grow the business with the help of build, measure, learn approach. This is the basic concept of lean startup. Build, measure, learn, feedback loop. It's called feedback loop. So one more slide on the same. The lean startup method is designed to help founders quickly validate assumptions and hypotheses, build a better product or service, and avoid costly mistakes and wasted resources. The lean startup methodology emphasizes sustainable growth through continuous experimentation and iteration. Continuous experimentation and improvement. This is what is lean startup. Move. Now, this will make you more easy to understand. I am sure many of you, आप सारे लोग दिल्ली के हैं कि बाहर से भी आए? बाहर से भी हैं? कहाँ से आए हैं? You are from? Gurgaon is part of Delhi. Delhi NCR. Anybody beyond Delhi NCR?
उत्तर प्रदेश
उत्तर प्रदेश. कहाँ से आए?
नियर आगरा
Near Agra. Rest all Delhi NCR. And all smart guys. Very good.
85% होता है 85% होता है
And what about you? What's your good name?
होता है दिल्ली का
Jaskiran Singh. You are also a student. Very good. You are from Delhi. Very good. Now you see, this is lean startup versus traditional business. When I will explain you the difference between the two, it will become more easier. See, lean startup approach allows you to develop a product based on the desires of the market. You don't develop product, this is your liking. I like this, so I will do this. No, you don't know. Let the customer decide what you have to make. Second is use validated learning to determine customer interest. Validated learning is nothing but making a raw product or making a prototype, going to the market, taking the feedback. That is what is validated learning. Focuses on metrics. Focuses on metrics like product popularity and lifetime customer value. Starts out with a minimum viable product to assess the reaction that customers have to the product. Experimentation is favored as opposed to sticking to a strict plan. Right? This is what is lean startup. Lean startup is more focused on getting the response from the consumer and let the consumer decide the product. Even the product is being decided by the consumer. I have identified a problem of the consumer and then I want to solve that problem. And to solve that problem, I have created some product. I went to the consumer and the consumer says, no, I don't, this doesn't solve my problem. So I come back again and redo it. And that's how we startup. Now move to traditional. Next slide. Now the traditional startup, how we used to do business earlier. In fact, many of the companies in India do business like this. And when I joined, started my career, I was also supposed to work like this, where begins with the creation of an extensive business plan. So I was asked to make a business plan for 5 years, not knowing anything about the market. Sitting in a boardroom, I am designing a 5-year plan. And it was really appreciated. People used to clap, great plan, wow, wow. And that's used as a rigid structure for next few years. And that plan once approved, the whole organization has to work on that plan for 5 years. Without knowing that whether the customer wants your product or doesn't want it. The whole team is busy working on that. Spending a lot of money, effort, energy. Then involves creating products in secret. Earlier, the launch used to be very secret. The product, if I have developed, I will not share with anyone. I will be knowing it as an employee, and maybe the investor must be having some idea about the product. But no one else knows about the product till the time it comes to the market. So that was a big risk which the companies were taking, and that is why they were losing money and startups were failing. Because you were thinking that you are far too intelligent than customer, which is a very wrong concept. Because ultimately customer is going to pay. The one who pays is the king. You are not the king, you are the recipient, you are a servant. So involves creating product in secret. Business plan is used to obtaining funding from angel investor or VC. बड़ा सिंपल सा फॉर्मेट होता था कि भाई हमने एक बिजनेस प्लान बना लिया, एक आइडिया है हमको, हमने बिजनेस प्लान बना लिया 5 साल का, और हमने एक सीक्रेटली प्रोडक्ट डेवलप कर लिया, और फिर हम वीसी के पास चले गए, हमने उसको प्रेजेंटेशन दिया, उसने हमारी कंपनी में इन्वेस्ट कर दिया, हमने कंपनी चला दी, और वीसी का भी लॉस हो गया, हमारा भी लॉस हो गया। ठीक है, मूव ऑन। Lean startup versus traditional business, this is again the same. Lean startup method also differentiates itself from the traditional business model when it comes to hiring. Now, a lean startup doesn't go for hiring experienced people. Lean startup hire workers who can learn, adapt, work quickly, while traditional business hire workers based on experience and ability. Like suppose if I want to go to an established company, they will look at my profile, they will say, okay, I am looking for somebody with software, you've not sold the software product, so I can't take you. So they will go only for a guy who has been selling software products. So they want an experienced, seasoned guy with set mindset, they don't want any innovation, they just want a guy to come and work. That is what is traditional. Whereas in startup, I want people with creative mindset, people who are willing to learn, people who are willing to adapt, people who are willing to move forward, people who believe in innovation. Then lean startup also uses different financial reporting metrics. Instead of focusing on income statement, balance sheet and cash flow statements, they focus on customer acquisition cost, lifetime customer value, customer churn rate, and how viral their product would be. So the focus is completely 360-degree different. The focus is on customer. Focus is only on customer. And all measurements are customers, how many customers are coming per day, what is the rate of acquisition, what is the cost of acquisition of a customer, what is the dropout, how many customers are dropping out. So the focus is completely on customer because the revenue is coming from their pocket. Move on. Roots of the lean startup. Lean manufacturing production involves the following: know your customer, eliminate waste, shrink batch size, just-in-time production, acceleration of cycle times. There was an example of this lean manufacturing. Toyota is one of the examples which everybody talks about. Just-in-time production, and they are very, very lean when it comes to producing. And they have shrink the batch size, eliminated waste, know their customers, just-in-time production. All their vehicles are super hit. Once they land to the market, they do well. Be it Fortuner, be it any car, be it Altis or whatever Toyota makes. These are some of the requirements to set up a lean startup. Considers experimentation to be more valuable than detailed planning. 5-year business plan built around unknowns are considered a waste of time, and a customer reaction is paramount. Instead of business plan, lean startups use a business model based on a hypothesis that are tested rapidly. Data does not need to be completed before proceeding. It just needs to be sufficient. When customers do not react as desired, the startup quickly adjusts to limit its losses and return to developing products consumers want. Failure is the rule, not the exception. Now this line you must understand. Failure is the rule, not exception. That you are bound to fail when you go with a startup. And don't get disheartened. That failure is actually what will make you success. ठीक है? पीछे वाले लोग थोड़ा समझ लो, थोड़ा सा और टाइम लेंगे बस. Move forward. How to build a lean startup? Now these are 4 steps. If anybody of you wanting to create a startup for yourself, it's a $1 billion slide. Just see it. It's not rocket science. It is very simple. A young boy can become an entrepreneur. All success stories started at 12 years, 14 years. This Eric Rice was 12-year-old when he fell in love with software. 12-year-old guy. That's how he became Eric Rice. So identify and prioritize customer needs. Start by identifying the needs and pain points of your target customer and prioritizing them based on their importance. पहली चीज आपके दिमाग में एक आइडिया आया, and that idea should be focused on a targeted customer. Somebody wants to solve the problem of a student, maybe specifically of Jim's student. So that is the target customer. Jim's student becomes the target customer. And what they need, what are their pain points? I have to come and do a market research and find out what are your pain points. Maybe the employment, maybe the job, whatever is your pain point. I have to work on that. Then second, build the MVP and test it with customers. MVP is minimum viable product. So I have to build a minimum viable product that addresses the most important customer need. यार ये क्या हो गया देखो ना. You want to get placed immediately after passing out of the job of your liking, then I will have to spend some time with you to understand what are your core competencies and what is your passion, what you enjoy doing, and maybe I will work out a small training program which makes you more employable and which excites you also, and then I train you on that program, and then I create a data bank, and I also go to the companies which need that kind of people, and I connect you with the company. So I have solved your problem. So if I can do that, you guys will be very happy. So this is what is lean startup. It's not rocket science. Explained so beautifully well. Right? Then third is collect and analyze customer feedback. Then once I have come with my product, my training module, I take your feedback. Then I see you take the feedback from employers also. Then this is what they are undergoing training. It will be workable for you. So I not only take feedback from you, I take the feedback from employer also. That this is the module on which the guys have been trained. Will it be workable for you? If they say yes, fantastic. Then I move on. If they say tweak, I will tweak. Then fourth is continuously iterate and improve the product or service. You have to continuously improve with the feedback. This is what is build, measure, learn, loop we call it. Move forward. Now comes the minimum viable product. The lean startup methodology, the concept of minimum viable product has found significant resonance in the Indian startup ecosystem. The country's bionic entrepreneurial spirit and unique challenges has created a fertile ground for these principles to thrive. Now in India, this concept has become really popular, and now most of the startups are working on the lean canvas model, which is one session I had taken in your College of Business model canvas. So that was a different batch. Okay.
No, this is very
Some of the kids were there, right?
Yes.
Right. Just move forward. Now create minimum viable product. How to create a minimum viable product? A core component of lean startup is build, measure, learn, feedback. The first step is figuring out the problem that needs to be solved, and then developing a minimum viable product to begin the process of learning as quickly as possible. Once the MVP is developed, a startup can work by fine-tuning the engine. This involves measurement and learning by actionable metrics that can demonstrate cause and effect. Questions? Move forward. This is again on creating a minimum viable product. Many entrepreneurs believe that launching a perfect product is necessary for its success. We all had the concept that हम कोई product करना चाह रहे थे. Whenever I used to sell anything, I used to think that first the product has to be made perfect, then only you can go to the market. The earlier perception was this. The lean startup busts this myth. Startups do not need to invest tons of money and resources in perfecting a product that consumers may not even need or want. Instead, creating a minimum viable product and testing it to see how consumers respond. An MVP is the simplest, most functional version of a product. It performs the basic function. For example, you may launch a basic version of an app and gather user feedback to improve it. And most of the companies now are doing it. Now, importance of MVP in lean startup. Now, what MVP does is this, that it reduces waste. You don't need to have umpteen numbers of features in your product. Many times we used to buy electronic products where there were so many features, and we used to use only 2-3 features. Throughout the lifetime of the product, consumer is not, even in a smartphone, how many of us use so many features? It is loaded with features. What features you use? You use WhatsApp, you use YouTube, you use Instagram, you use mailing. That's it. Beyond that, there are thousands of features which smart companies are eliminating and reducing the cost and making it more viable for the consumer. Frankly speaking, if I get a phone at a low cost which covers all these 4-5 features, I will love to have it. Rather than, there are so many features and the phone is costing me 1 lakh rupees or 50,000 rupees. If I can get that phone at 5,000 bucks, the whole country will run for it. So, faster to market, learn, launch quickly, gather feedback, move fast. In fact, you guys can become entrepreneur in 24 hours. Create an idea, develop a product prototype, go to the market through web. Today internet is there, you can introduce your product through the web, see the response. If the response is good, develop that product, move ahead. Validated learning, test assumptions with real users. Validated learning is very, very critical. The most important element of this whole presentation, the word lean startup is important. You must know lean startup. You must know MVP, that is minimum viable product, which can be a prototype also, which can be a video film also, which can be a web page presentation also, not necessarily a tangible product. Then you have to have validated learning by giving that product and taking the feedback. And you will charge for your validated, for MVP. Don't give MVP free, because then the feedback will not come. If you charge for your MVP, the feedback will come and it may be negative most of the time. And the more negative is the feedback, the better it is for you, because you can rebuild your product, which will be a better product. Right? Now, these are types of MVP. Now, there are various types of MVP. This is a bit technical, but not very difficult to comprehend. So, the video MVP is a product demonstration through a video. Now, the example of this is that Dropbox was one of the companies. It's a US company which started with this, and they made a video for their product, and then finally the video was right, they understood, and then they developed their company. Then the concierge MVP, personalized service with no information, with no automation. Here what I do is, I create a product and I go to one person only, or invite that customer to my office and spend time with that customer in detail and show him the product, give him the product, charge also from him a minimum price, and then take his views also. That is what is that concierge MVP. Then Wizard of Oz MVP. This is back-end process or manual, but appears automated to the user. If you have heard about a company called Zapex, it was again a US company. They were selling online shoes, and you will be surprised, it was not automated. It was an entirely manual process when he started off. He had a still web page where what he did, he went to a shoe outlet, took the pictures. First he built a relationship with the shoe outlet, then he shared his business idea, and then he took the pictures of these shoes, and along with the prices, he posted that pictures on the page, web page, and there was no website also. And when he got the orders, he went to the outlet, bought these shoes, and sent them couriered the shoes to the respective customers. So it was all done manually. But then that gave him an idea that this will work. Indian worldwide consumers will prefer to buy shoes online as well. And then what happened? Zappos became the billion-dollar company, and finally it was acquired by Amazon. Today, whatever shoes you buy on Amazon is the model of Zappos only. And shoes are selling very fast at Amazon. All branded shoes are selling very fast. Even I buy my shoes from Amazon. If I know the brand, if I know the size, I have no problem in buying. So that is this one. Then landing page MVP is very simple. You can create an idea, put a web page of yours, and float that idea onto the net. And let's see how people react. Crowdfunding MVP is funding your business idea through small investments from a large number of people. You can use crowdfunding services like Kickstarter, or there are various crowdfunding services which you can use to move forward. Now these are two case studies I would like to share with you. Dropbox used a simple video to know customer interest before building the final product. Dropbox is basically an internet site which actually you can share your files in no time with your people with whom you know you want to share your thoughts, share your files. And beyond files, they do know many things. Cloud, they also give you private cloud also. So Zappos started selling shoes online, which I explained to you, and it has become big. Move on. Now, in order to measure your success, you have to use metrics. This MVP, when it goes to the market, you have to measure it through a matrix. Now, there are good metrics, there are bad metrics. There is a vanity matrix, which is a very generic metric, in a metric where you measure total number of people or total everything is not right. The good matrix has 3 A's, which is actionable. Matrix has to be actionable. You must know the cause and effect. If the product has gone there, this feature is working, this is not working. If I do this, this will happen. So you know that what action I need to take. Then it is accessible. The matrix has to be very simple, must be understood by each one of us in the business house or whosoever is working with the group. Then it should be auditable. The data has to be auditable. Good metric examples like registration rate is one of the examples. Activation rate, you must know what is your activation rate. Lifetime value of the customer, customer acquisition cost, CPA. Nice, move. Now this is the pivot. This is another term which you need to understand. Just 5-10 minutes more, you guys have to be little patient. Just 5.
Is here. Can I expect some silence, please?
Please enjoy this presentation. It's not any burden to you.
वैसे बैठे हुए हो? So यहाँ पे किसी purpose के लिए आए हैं? उनके पास free time तो है, right?
So,
तो अपना
lean startup. Second was MVP. Third was validated learning. Fourth is pivot. Pivot is nothing when you go to the market with a product or a prototype. You may be rejected, or maybe some features are not accepted. The customer rejects it. Then you have to take a U-turn. Maybe you have to relaunch. You have to change your strategy. So that is what is all about. You have a vision, you have a strategy, you have a product. So now what happens? Your vision will not change, but your product will change many times. Your strategy will change also many times, but the vision needs to be little more permanent. Although with changing environment, even visions can evolve over a period of time. Today I might have this vision of maybe training students or training SMEs, but tomorrow my vision can also transform. So vision is also not fully permanent, but here they say that vision is relatively permanent. Strategy will change, product will change many times. And this word, the pivot, will tell you when to pivot, move forward. Now this slide will explain you when this business house went for a pivot. See, they took off, they started off, they were not doing well, and then finally suddenly some customers started coming in and the business started growing. But still, they were not very sure that this will grow. There was a time when they saw that the business is now going to dip. That was the time they changed the strategy. So here they have to change. When everything is doing well, but your intuition, you have to know that now it will not grow, it will come down. And that was the time you have to go for a change in the strategy or a change in the product. And this is very practical. When you will do your own business also, you will do many changes, many times. But you must know when to pivot. If everything, like if suppose I would have pivoted here, it would have been wrong because the brand is growing. But now the brand is likely to dip because maybe the environment has changed or maybe competition has come out with something better. Right? Now, 3 sections of lean startup. Now these are, I am finishing, the presentation is now moving towards an end. So we'll be a little excited. There are 3 sections of startup. The first and foremost is a vision. I am sure each one of you have a vision for yourself. You have a vision for yourself or not?
Yes.
How many of you have a vision for yourself? Have a clear vision. I am telling you, people who know what they want will definitely get what they want. God is very kind, but God is very busy. You have to place a clear order to God. If you are confused, God will not spend time with you. Because there are a lot of people who are clear. So first He will service the people who are clear. You go to a restaurant, the waiter comes, and if you tell him you are confused, tell him what to eat, probably he will not be able to give you anything. When you call the waiter, you tell him specifically, I need this cappuccino or I need this or that, he'll give you that. Similar way the universe works. So if you are not clear, first become clear about your vision. And before making a vision, be very clear about your value system. Because as long as you are working in line with your values, you will always be full of energy and conviction. Right? So vision, then second step is steer. Once I have a vision and I have floated my MVP I have made, now I have to steer like a car. I have to steer my business. And once I started steering, I have to accelerate, I have to grow. So these are the three stages of being a startup. Vision, the importance of developing a clear vision for your startup that is based on a deep understanding of customer needs and desire. Founders need to create a hypothesis about the problem they are trying to solve and the solution they are proposing. They need to test that hypothesis through rapid experimentation and iteration. Very simple. I have been telling the same, consumer. The vision, whatever I have to validate that vision from the consumer. My vision has to be aligned with the consumer's desire. If I create a vision which is aligned with consumer desire, if I know your desire and I create that vision for myself, you will be very happy to associate with me at least. So this is what is vision. Move. Now steer, the importance of steering your startup in the right direction by setting goals, measuring progress, and making data-driven decisions. Founders should establish a feedback loop that allows them to collect and analyze data from customers, employees, and other stakeholders. The next step is to use that data, make informed decisions about the direction of the company. Steering is nothing but moving in the right direction. And right direction will come with validated learning, which is data, consumer feedback. That's it. Then comes the change. Accelerate. The importance of accelerating growth by scaling the company's operation, increasing customer acquisition, and improving the product or service. Now founders need to focus on sustainable growth that is based on deep understanding of the customer needs and desires. Avoid the temptation to chase short-term gains at the expense of long-term gains. These are the three principles or three stages. Move forward. Now, little bit about India in three slides. What is India? This is the startup which I have explained you. You can go and study the books. You will get all this information. But let us know what is India. Now, India, in the understanding the Indian context, large and diverse market. India is a very large and diverse market. 140 crore people living in different states. It is the United States of India, where people speak different languages, eat different food, wear different clothes, have different cultures. So India is a diverse population, presents both opportunities and challenges. A one-size-fits-all approach doesn't work in India. If I make a product for Delhi, it might not work in some other cities like Jaipur, it may not work, Lucknow, it may not work. Something which is working in Lucknow may not work in Delhi. So I have to understand that. Then price sensitivity. Consumers are often price conscious. India is a very price sensitive market. We are all price sensitive. Necessity, careful consideration of pricing strategies and cost-effective product development. So in India, these elements also crop in. Once you are in India, you have to be very clear that the market is diverse. I have to be focused. My market has to be focused. If I am making product only for Delhi, then I should be very clear that my target customer is only Delhi. And if I am making a national product, then it has to be aligned with the interest of the entire nation. Price sensitivity, I have to be careful. Infrastructure challenges are there. There is a limited internet penetration in the rural India as of now. Today also the internet penetration is not 100%. So if my product is completely online, it may work in some markets, it may not work in some markets. So these factors I have to consider. Competition is very fierce in India. You pick up a product and there are thousands of people selling that product. So it's a huge competition. So India is a different ballgame. Move forward. Lean startup in India. In India, the lean startup approach has been instrumental in validating market hypothesis. Given the vast and diverse market, understanding customer need is crucial. Lean startup helps validate product market fit early on. Because of these complications, lean startup methodology is more relevant in India. Because यहाँ पे इतना ज़्यादा complex है सब चीजें. Unless you get the right feedback, you make a wrong product. So optimizing resource utilization in resource constrained environment, the lean startup methodology ensures efficient use of capital. Now, if you have limited resources, then lean startup is blessing because it teaches you to work on a minimal resources. If I have less money, also I can do business. building a scalable business by focusing on core value proposition, a startup can achieve rapid growth. Now I'll give you an example. There is a guy in Noida. He's a 16-year-old guy. Post-COVID, India started that UPI payment. We all do payments through Paytm now. So I'll just give you an example how a lean startup becomes a successful. This guy, 16-year-old guy, sells momos, and what he did, there was a stationery outlet, and outside that stationery outlet there was a small space. This young boy goes to the stationery outlet and requests him, sir, can you provide me little space? I want to create a momo stall here, and that will attract more traffic and your business will also grow. So the guy liked his idea. He gave that space to him on a minimal rental. He charged the rental, nothing was free. So he got a small space with some rental. And he started making momos. Now he makes only two kinds of momos, non-veg momos, veg momos, fried momos and normal momos. He charges 60 rupees for veg momos and 90 rupees for non-veg momos. And he has a brand called I think Kathmandu Momos. And he got a small UPI board also where you can make the payment through UPI. The brand is also there. Very hygienically he is making. 5 o'clock he comes and till 8 o'clock he sells out everything. He's doing a roaring business at 16. He's probably earning every day maybe 10,000 rupees profit. And it's a great startup. And everything is एक number का, no number. Every money is coming on UPI. All transaction recorded. And he's now tied up with Zomato and all these delivery boys, so it's floating around in entire Noida. So this is how these startups are created. Initially when he would have come, probably some customer would have not liked his product. Then he tweaked it and made it a better product. So this is something I have already explained to you. Now, case study. Now these are case studies, you must understand. These are Indian brands which have worked in India. Now Paytm is again an example. Today it is a roaring success. Probably each one of you must be having Paytm in your phones and you must be making all payments through Paytm. And Paytm also started as a mobile recharge platform. Paytm rapidly increased its offering based on customer feedback because a major player and became a major player in fintech. So this is lean startup. Paytm is an example of lean startup, a roaring success. Then Ola initially focused on taxi booking only. Today Ola diversified into auto rickshaw, bike, taxis and other mobility solutions based on user demand. Then your Flipkart started as an online bookstore. Today Flipkart expanded into various product categories by understanding customer preferences. So it's all about knowing your customer and moving forward. Right? Next slide. Challenges and opportunities. While the lean startup methodology offers immense potential, challenges such as diverse market. Now these are the challenges which you guys will face if you go for a startup. Diverse market is there, regulatory environment is there in India. There are a lot of regulatory rules in India to do business. Shops and Establishment Act, Sales Tax Act, so many things. So you have to get registered with the company registrations. So all those statutory regulatory environment, infrastructure limitations, you can have internet issues in areas, some of the areas where you're marketing your product. So these are the challenges. Then however the growing startup ecosystem, increasingly digital penetration and government support present significant opportunities for entrepreneurs to leverage lean startup principles and build successful businesses. The good thing is this, that the government of India is trying to encourage digital world and a lot of digital platforms are coming up and opportunities are huge for each one of us. Have a great idea and for how you get the idea, you have to be observant. Like right now I have come here, you have to focus on me. Because you will, once I go, then you can do so many things. But as long as I am here, I will be talking about lean startup. And if you have any questions, you can ask as well. Okay, next. Now these are the key takeaways. Okay, you can take my photo. Okay, so I will also take one photo from this side, the other, so that students can also come. Yeah. So the key takeaways. Lean startup is about learning through iteration. MVP is a tool for rapid experimentation. Embrace failure as a learning opportunity. I hope each one of you are clear about these three things. These are the key takeaways of the whole presentation. Okay. Now what I will do is I will stand here so that the group comes. in the presentation, because you are young people and sky's the limit for you guys. Move forward. This is the conclusion. This slide at least go through, just 1 minute slide. Adopting lean startup principles and the MVP approach can significantly benefit Indian startups by fostering innovation, reducing risk, and accelerating time to market. The core principle of customer feedback, continuous development, and resource efficiency remains universally applicable. When changing to lean, expect changes. With lean, you will have better product, better growth, and happier teams. Now, this is the recommendation for you guys. These are the three books, three things which I recommend. First is the Lean Startup by Eric Rice. It's a very powerful book. If you want to buy, you can buy. It's available on Amazon, not very expensive. Keep this book with you. Keep referring this book with you. It is a amazing book, and the entire concept is given by Eric Rice. Then there is another book which is fantastic. It's 0 to 1. 0 to 1. It's a great book by Peter Thiel. It is not primarily on lean startup, but it is purely on setting up a business, your own business. And 0 to 1 is brilliant. One more thing I wanted to tell you. Suppose I go and make a product and go to the market, and the market rejects it partially, not fully. Partially it rejects it and partially it accepts it. So what will happen? I will feel here out of 10, 5 guys are buying my product, let me continue. So I will continue. And I will be in dilemma also, whether to continue or not to continue. So it is better if you fail completely. Because if you get 0, you will innovate and you will totally drop that idea. You will come with something innovative again. But if you partially fail and partially succeed, then you may get confused. And that's what happens with us in life. We are partially successful, that is why we are confused. All guys who failed completely became very successful because they had nothing to lose. They knew that this is not working, I have to do something else. So make a note of this, Lean Startup by Eric Rice, 0 to 1 by Peter Thiel. These two books are very simply written. At least 0 to 1 is very simple, and it has an amazing concept that 0 is better than 1. And you can move from 0 to 1. How you will move from 0 to 1 is explained beautifully there. 0 to 1 is like, suppose, and then there is another book called 10x. Now 10x also is an interesting book. What happens, you can grow 10x also. People tell you to grow by 10%, 15%, but I say you can grow 10x. 10x means that today you are x, you will become 10x. How you will become 10x? Suppose आपको गाड़ी चलाना नहीं आता, you don't know driving. And one fine day you tell your dad that I want to drive, and get me a driving school. He puts you in a driving school. Now suddenly after 15 days you have started driving a car. You can imagine the transformation. Now your mobility is 10x. So you were earlier walking or taking a metro or going with an auto. Now you know how to drive. So it's a 10x. Similarly, suppose you know only English. You started learning French. Now you know French as well. So it is a 10x growth. You can interact with France. You can go to France and interact with those people. So anything which is new, any form of things, any skill which changes your life, it takes you to 10x. और वही चीज बार बार करने से 10x ग्रोथ नहीं आती. Hard work, perseverance, these are all very good word to listen. But the best thing is to learn new skills. Your mind is designed like that. And once you learn how to driving, I mean, at the time when you are learning to drive, it looks like a very big thing. In fact, when you learn to bicycle, bicycling itself was very difficult. I used to fail whenever I used to drive. And finally, one day when I started bicycling, it was so cool. You give me bicycle, anywhere I can do biking. So that is 10x growth. It's not rocket science. Very simple. You learn a new skill and it is the next growth. In a smartphone, if you learn a new feature, how to use that, it's a great thing. You go to Canva and start creating a presentation. Great skill. You learn digital marketing. Great skill. The next growth. But you have to acquire a skill. Don't keep on doing the same thing which you have been doing for last 10 years. That will make you dull. That will make you boring. So these are the books which I recommend. Lean Startup by Eric Rice, 0 to 1 by Peter Thiel, and read case studies and articles on Lean Startup and become perfect on Lean Startup. Any questions?
No, sir.
Any questions? No questions? Anybody wanted to be an entrepreneur in life? Nobody. Everybody wants a job. So she wants to become an entrepreneur. Very nice. I am happy to interact with you guys. You are happy. I hope each one of you enjoyed the presentation.
Yes, sir.
Can I have a good round of clapping? Thanks. Live Planet is the name of my company and the theme is Live Good, Feel Good. The mission is to help people reach their full potential by training on soft skills and business skills. And I want to touch 1 million customers in the first 5 years. 1 million. So I'm helping everyone to grow and I feel each one of us has tremendous potential to grow. And I have lot of presentations. You know, I can teach you how to be financially free. I have a presentation on financial freedom as well. So you guys are so young, you can be financially free in another 10 years time. And then you can have a good life. So maybe I will request Divya sometime to organize a lecture on financial independence, financial freedom. How to get financially free in life. And you guys are lucky that if you are able to get to know this. I came to know about financial freedom when I was probably 45 years old. I never knew this term before that. So if you can get to know about financial freedom, your life will be very cool. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir, for your words of wisdom. I would like to thank you for such an informative session. Finally, thank you to the audience for being such great. Okay, everybody, please sit down.
क्या ये?